So as many of you will know, the Camp Q&A was like a few days ago, and I know I'm a bit late on that. I said I'd get it out the same day, and then the next day, and the day after that. But now it's actually coming out a few days later. I don't really care though. I have a little list here of my gripes with it, and basically just gonna be a rant video because I can't be bothered to make this scripted. So the first thing I have a gripe with is that it was only an hour long, and they took 6 minutes to introduce themselves, even though they said that they weren't going to because it wasn't needed. That was really annoying because actually it wasn't even an hour. It was like 55 minutes. So really there was only like 49 minutes of, Q&A. And the repeated bullshit of not putting up real questions only made that one worse because the person who was picking each question from the YouTube chat sometimes would only put the reactions that people had onto screen. It was really annoying because, again, only an hour long, you kind of want the most amount of questions answered. So don't put up random ass, reactions to what they say. Like somebody was like, oh my god, Space Kid mentioned, oh my god, as a they, them, I support this. It's so annoying. Another problem was that people were donating to get their question up there to get answered. And a lot of people didn't even have their questions answered, even when they did that. The whole stream felt rushed. Like they had weeks to actually do this, and it felt like they didn't actually do any research into their own thing. Because I know at one point, they had to literally go to the Camp wiki in order to even remember some stuff that happened there. It's like, what? You made the show. How do you not remember some of your stuff? I get that it's been a while, like 2 years, because they worked on With Friends Like These. That was their last project together before they both left. And then Camp got rotted by season 5. But come on. There was also the thing of there was no real hard-hitting questions that got answered, except for if Camp was coming back, which they already said, well, I don't know, we're not a part of that crew. Which is, kind of what I was expecting. Because they hadn't been there since With Friends Like These, so I don't know why Bernie Burns didn't. That probably means that Bernie Burns doesn't know himself whether or not he's going to bring it back, because they're the ones that made the shows. You think that he would try to re-recruit them back, because that's what made the show great, is, the original people, not the dipshits at season 5 ruining everything. Straight up, Streamly was being very annoying. The person who was running the Streamly account was being very annoying with not putting up real questions, not putting up actual questions, and sometimes even putting up the Streamly link itself onto there as one of the questions, quote unquote, just being like, hey, you should check out the thing. They were spamming that in chat, so I don't know why they needed to put it up there as well, as if we weren't paying attention to chat. There was some guy who was also spamming their question in chat, and they got up there. Meanwhile, me, who was putting it in every once in a while, didn't get up there. I had one of my questions get put up there. It didn't even get answered, and I don't really care. It was over Max's parents, and they didn't answer that. It was just so rushed. It did not feel good. Basically, barely anybody were even satisfied by that. Some people had their questions answered. A lot of people didn't, and some people wasted money to get their questions up, and they didn't even get it. That's my take on it. You guys can do what you want with that.